Welcome to Flosstube number 30. This is a special Flosstube. Instead of showing you all my whips, I have visited a lovely shop in Belgium, in Gent. And this is the shop at Gaerenhuys. And I have spoken about them before. I have visited them at fairs where they have market stands. I've been to their pop-up shop, and this was the first time I actually visited their normal, regular shop, which is very near the station in Gent. And I've asked over email before if I could film all their samples and models in the shop, because they have so many of them. And they said, yeah, that's fine. You're very welcome to come over. And so I did yesterday. And this is my very first time filming like this. I'd never done that before. So if the footage is a bit shaky or not perfect, then please forgive me. But it was my very first try. And I really enjoyed doing it. I have slowed down the speed of the video so that you can actually have a bit of time to look at the different pieces. It also means that you won't get dizzy when I move the camera around too quickly. So they, like I said, are a shop in Belgium. They have pieces from American, German, French designers, Dutch designers, Italian. They have Renate Caroline. So they have a lot of different styles in the shop, and I really like that. They really know their stuff. It is a specialty shop, and they obviously know what they're doing. So I think that's one of the best parts about this shop. So they will know their designers, they know different fabrics. So yeah, you can basically go there and ask them anything. They also are very, very good at finishing their pieces. So all the models you see, they have stitched. And they are very, very good at finishing them in very different ways. Also in very inexpensive ways, which I think with the amount of stitching we do, it's nice to know there are different ways of finishing. And they have many different ways shown in the shop. I am pretty sure the models I'm showing you is only a fraction of what they have, because when I've been to fairs or when I went to Knokke, I've seen other pieces. So they'll have probably have more than what I can show you today. This was a finish on a little flag. I thought that was very creative. And this again is some of terrible filming because I was just trying to look for the other flags and whether they had anything on it. They didn't. They were empty, and I could purchase them and then put anything on it that I'd stitched. But I really like this little finish. It's very simple but very cute. So this is sort of the main part of the shop. And that's my bag standing there in the corner. And these are very, very cute buttons that you could use. I like these. I didn't purchase any. I purchased some before. I don't use them very often. It doesn't really go with my style when I finish a pillow or anything. But I think they are very cute. I'll put some music on, so it will not just be me talking. It'll be a bit of me talking and a bit of music. This is a jardin privé. Last year, quite a lot of you stitched this, a little piece each month. I think it was Colette, the highway stitcher, who was leading that stitch along. I love this finish with the wooden frame. It's very easy. It's such a pretty finish. It's a shop that's very full, so everything is there, but there's not much space. So you really have to have a bit of a rummage around to see everything. I love that little triangle thing, by the way. I should have bought that. DMC fabric. I love DMC fabric. I really love working on their Ada. And a lot of the pieces they stitched on 20 count Ada. This was one of my favorites. I think this was stitched on linen because all the kits of this line come with linen. But this is beautiful. They call this studies, and they have them with fruit, berries, flowers. It's really unique and very pretty. All the framing, all the framed pieces are framed without glass. And I always thought I wouldn't love that, but as it turns out, I do. I think they have a fantastic way of framing, and I'm pretty sure I will have several of the pieces that I'm working on, like Moondeer, like Artisy, I will have them framed by het Gaerenhuys. This was a Dimensions kit. This is a Jardin Privé, one that my mom is working on as well. They have a very nice finish with ribbon and paper at the back, so that it sort of stands in that 4-piece way. And then behind that, and I will try to put a few things aside, you have one of the prettiest Renate Perelin, in my opinion anyway. They were quite happy with me moving stuff around. They were very, very welcoming. I understand they don't have a Flosstube, but they are on Facebook. And they might also be on Instagram. And this was a table full of patterns, and they had, again, everything from French to American designers. So you could genuinely take more than an hour to go through all of this. Lélinde Isabelle is a designer that I've looked at several times. I really like her shading. There will be a little finished piece later on that I can show you. It's just all very children focused. It's all very cute. It would be lovely in a children's room. So I haven't yet stitched anything. The lady of the shop showed me a very pretty one, a very long, thin one that you could sort of wrap around a basket. It was very pretty. And I might have to get that one after all. This is Marjorie Massey. I'm working on a Marjorie Massey piece for Christmas, and this was another one that I really liked. And I've been through that whole box of Marjorie Massey because I really like her designs. I think it's a very unique style again. Again, I've slowed down the footage to give you some time to actually see it and actually look at it. So they have Teresa Kogut, they have Jeanette Douglas, they had quite a few of the animal critters, the sort of the stand-ups. I really like this designer, Une Croix Latendue. I have some of their pieces, I haven't started them yet, but I really enjoy their style. It's not minimalist, it's very delicate, but yeah, I really like it. I should stitch some of theirs. So plenty of patterns to go through. And I have actually bought a piece from Rosewood Manor. I like their samplers, and I have bought one of them. And to just give it a try, I normally don't stitch pieces like this, but I thought it would be nice. So I bought Dove Moor, and I'll probably stitch it with very different colors, but that's for the next Flosstube. This is Les Brodeuses Parisiennes, and they had quite a lot of this brand, and I've never stitched any of it. It has a bit of back stitching as well, which is not my favorite. These pieces are regularly on linen, and I don't stitch on linen. I think I could stitch it on Ada if I wanted to, but the kits that you see hanging on this frame all had linen in it, which was a shame because there were about 3 or 4 that I would have enjoyed stitching, but I decided to leave them for now, and yeah, just look into it a little bit more. Maybe I can get just the pattern somewhere, so I don't, because the kit is, not cheap. And then especially if I don't use the linen, that'd be a waste. So that bird, I loved that bird. I loved it on the blue. Yeah, I'd love to stitch that one. I think that was one of the prettiest ones I saw yesterday. I wasn't on my own. I was on my own sometimes, and then someone else came in, and so my filming, I tried to not film other people. This is one of their little racks of fabric, and every time I say, well, I have a fabric that doesn't have a name, I get it from this stash. Down here, one of my favorites. This is in the same line as the raspberry one you saw hanging higher up. This is all from Les Brodeuses Parisiennes, and they have a whole line of what they call studies. And this one is very, very pretty. And this was one of the tiers, the cross-stitch tier. Not entirely sure who designed this one. There's quite a few now who design tiers. But I quite like this one because of the cross-stitching theme. Lots of books on cross-stitch. And then up here was my absolute favorite of the studies. This rose is just stunning. And then this one with cherries. So pretty. And again, the framing is beautiful. No glass, just some batting, it seems, behind the stitching. That sort of brings it forward very, very nicely. This one I fell in love with the moment I walked into the shop. It is the colors that just pop out. So yeah, and at first when I was away from it, I thought it was embroidery, but it is cross-stitching. And I just loved it. It's from Renato Parolin. And I have bought yesterday a tree from Renato Paulin. She didn't have this one anymore because otherwise I would have gotten this one. But I bought one from Autumn. And that one's very pretty too. This was another interesting frame that you could use for mounting your cross stitch on. And again, they have so many different ways of finishing your cross stitch, which was one of the best parts about visiting this shop. I loved this piece. I love the colors and sort of I found it a very calming piece with the green and the blues and greys. And the frame is a perfect choice. So pretty. You can see me very concentrated because I was struggling with the filming. I think this piece with the egg is from de l'Isabelle. Very summery piece. So all these little wooden boxes you could use for finishing your piece. Quite a few books. Obviously I had to grab the one with the flower on it because I love stitching flowers. Quite a lot of German designers as well, such as UB Design, one of my favorites. Magazines. I didn't really go through the magazines, but they had quite a stash. Two more French pieces were sort of stashed on the floor. One of them used as a sort of a pin board. And then mountains of fabric. And frames that you could pick from. And like I said, I will take some of my stitching over there next time, so I can have it framed. I didn't bring anything this time. I thought I'll just have a look first and see what they have, but yeah. Some more UB Design, tablecloths in different kinds of colors. I would never stitch on that yellow one, but I quite like the green one that I'm looking at now. And then some more pre-cut fabric, both linen, Aida, and my eye is always drawn to the Aida, and because that's the only one I use. I did buy some fabric. I bought some dark green and some light green, and dark green I bought specifically for some of the pieces by Pigeon Coop in their book. The book that everybody is currently stitching from. This middle table was sort of a selection of patterns and a lot of kits as well. So they have, I didn't see any magic needle kits. That's the only brand I did not see. Other than that, I did see Lenart, DMC kits, Bothy threads, Vavaco. So they had plenty of options for everyone. And this was another French designer that I'd never heard of. Some dimensions, not much dimensions. And I have never made a dimensions kit. This is another French designer, Le Bonheur de Dame. Quite pretty, but there is some backstitch, and I'm not a fan of backstitch. Like this one's cute, but I'm pretty sure there's backstitching in the bird. Quite a few Bothy threads that I'd never seen before. So that was interesting. I liked this house. Although I don't think I would stitch it, but I thought it was pretty. A cute little cat. Some DMC and some Vavaco. And this was the point where there were a few extra people in the shop, so I was a bit unsure where to point my camera. So don't worry, in a second I will move to the other side of the shop where there are quite a few pieces hanging on the wall, fully finished. I didn't know DMC had kits. I hadn't really seen them before. And this is another French design that they finished, which I thought was very cute. And I liked the fabric around the hoop. So this is where we're going round to the other side of the shop. And this in the back was sort of it seemed to be more like a working space for them. And this, I loved this. I loved it. It's very Christmassy, obviously. It has, and I was struggling here to find a space so I could put it all in one shot. So excuse the moving about, but there you go. I really like it. I like the fabric, very snowy. And I liked it as a finish with the fabric around it. And I have just finished L'Impulsion, the Petit Carré one, which I will show you on my next Flosstube. But I'm considering a finish like this because I think it would suit it. It would suit the piece. Yeah, I really like this one. Like a Christmas village. Some more linen. They have so much fabric. It's unbelievable. And I liked these bags. This is again with the French designer, with the red. It's a lot of red. And they made that into little bags. And this designer also, or this brand also has kits where you basically buy the full bag and then all you have to do is stitch. And it's already fully finished for you. But they might have made this themselves, I'm not sure. But I thought it was very, very pretty. It's some of the back fabric. Yeah, I really like this one. And this one, slightly bigger. I love it when you make something with stitching that you can also actually use in life, rather than just hang it on the wall. And this is a jardin privé. A very long piece of stitching. It'll be perfect for a stitchy corner though, this one. So lovely and very pretty colours. All this fabric. And then up here I really liked this piece. And I didn't ask, I saw so much that I liked. I didn't ask about this one, but I really like this one and I like the frame as well. And you all know that I like my tea. So yeah, if I ever come across that one, I'll probably buy it. And this one I think is a Lannard kit, but I'm not entirely sure. Very Dutch. Delft's Blauw. And then we move into the, and I'm going to say this wrong, Core Batakore, something like that. It's very similar to the crochet or croquette agogo style. And then this one, I love this one. This is the Un Croix le Temps d'un Thé. And I think this is so pretty. Perfect for winter. I love this one. All stitched on 20 count Aida. And then a little jardin privé in the corner. Also very cute. Love the way that pair of scissors is charted. This was a very interesting piece. I've never seen anything like it before. I have no idea who designed this, but I thought it was very, very unique. This is another one from the same designer as the star, the wintry star you've just seen. I love this. I have one of these, one of the stars I have in my stash, so I should probably stitch that. And this one is also stitched on 20 count Aida. It's very delicate. And I love the color of this Aida. Then we have a Coquette Crochet à Gogo. This is the spring one. Now I have seen the autumn and another one fully finished at one of their markets, market stands, and I am stitching the autumn one. And both this one and mine are on 20 count Ada. And I have done sort of the bottom right corner of the one I'm doing. So I have plenty more to go, but it is a lovely stitch and it is so pretty. Yeah, I love seeing these finished. And again, they have done all their own stitching, so you know, they've stitched a lot. I like these two, especially the one on the left on the blue fabric. I really like the fabric color. This is another Jardin Privé. Oh, and this one. This one I will definitely do at some point. I think this is a Coquette à Gogo, and I just love it. It's very stitchy themed. There are so many pieces you could just stitch separately as a little pillow. Yeah, I think this is very, very cute. Stitched on 20 count. So I will stitch this at some point. I have no doubt. I should have probably bought the pattern yesterday, but I now have plenty of reason to go back soon. So that's what I will do. Oh, I love this one as well. I showed you the bird kit earlier of a different bird. It's by Brodeuse Parisien. And this one is stitched up on linen. Beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, the colors on that stitchy piece are perfect. Loads of ribbons, things to finish your pieces with. And then a whole stack of needle minders. I love my needle minders. I don't think I have any of this brand, but they're very cute. And this was a more primitive piece. I don't know who designed this. They had a few pieces of embroidery in this corner. And I don't really do embroidery, but I do think it's pretty. The months of the year are in the back. And we'll see a little piece of that later on as well. I like this pin drum. I probably would have stitched it on a different fabric myself. But I like the flowers on it. Anything with flowers on it is fine with me. And I quite like it displayed in one of those, whatever that's called, with the glass. So this is a little bit more of that monthly piece. It might be by Country Cottage Needlework, but I'm not sure. But they often have a series like that. I'm currently doing the Village series, and I'm working on February. And I think this is embroidery again. I do like that piece in the back with the alphabet. This was sort of a corner where they had different things you could stitch. Like, I really like this one with the little towels sort of rolled up, and then there was a ribbon of Ada around it that you could stitch on. So they had a few more creative pieces that you could put stitching on. And I like that. I like this needle-minder with the flowers. Of course I did. Anything with flowers is good. Some cute little bags. And these tea towels were lovely. I liked this tea towel, especially the massive strawberry. I thought that was one of the prettiest things. It just popped off the fabric, and the shading was perfect. I mean, look at that. Yeah, very pretty. And then I sort of expected the blue piece to be empty, but that was also stitched. So it also had a bit of Ada in the middle, and that was stitched with a French design. And it is about tea. So that's always good with me. Tea and flowers. What more do you want? I probably would have changed the colors. Blue and red are not my favorites. But it's a pretty design. So these are towels you can stitch on and washcloths and stuff like that. A little piece on the corner here. I've no idea who designed this, but I quite liked it. Cross-stitching together is more precious than anything. I mean, how suitable is that? All this Flosstube stuff, we do it because we enjoy stitching together. Yeah, very pretty piece. And then obviously in the shop she has different kinds of floss. So she has her fancy floss like Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Art, all of those sort of piled up on sort of a tree. So she has a tree of pretty floss that is not necessarily just stood in the shop. So I asked for it and she takes it out. But she has all kinds of floss. So even though you don't see it anywhere, it is definitely there. And I bought quite a few fancy flosses. And recently I found a second-hand batch of fancy flosses, and I will show that on my next Flosstube. But that was a good buy. I really like that Christmas pattern you just saw, by the way. And this is another of those French designs. It is a sort of a red sampler, but then different. And I quite like the French style. It's very delicate, isn't it? So then we come round back to the middle of the shop where we have this table. And again, there's plenty of patterns and little things, like all these cute little buttons or whatever it is. They're very cute. And this was basically a little bit of everything, it seemed. This is a Renate Parolin piece, like it. But then there was also other designers in here. I'd never seen this before, for instance. This was a Rico design book that you can use for tablecloths and table runners. And I'm actually getting ready to start another table runner that I was gifted by one of you, which was very kind. I loved this one, and I've actually forgotten about that one when I was going around the shop again just to buy stuff, which I did after filming. And I forgot about that one, but I loved it. Again, another reason to go back. And she was very welcoming, and I was quite happy to stay as long as I wanted. And I think it was really unhurried shopping. So that was very nice. Now this is terrible filming, I do apologize. They're very nice baskets. This was the Lennart kit corner. I like this one. I think this one is very pretty. I like the colors a lot. And it's not a very big piece. I didn't plan on buying a kit yesterday, so I didn't. I bought some patterns and some fabrics. I have quite a few kits in my stash, and I do still try to stitch most of my things from stash. So I did buy 2 patterns yesterday, but I didn't feel the need to buy another kit. Although this is one of my favorites from Lennart, and I hope to do it one day. I really like the style. Like this one too. Love the colors of this one. It'll pop off the fabric. Those are a bit too yellow for me. And these are quite big. And I don't love them. They're a bit, they look like sketches or drawings. So then we move to the last corner, and this is all, at least most of it is brodeuse parisien. So these are the kits where this is basically what you buy and all you have to do is stitch on it. But the bag is already put together. So like this was one of the ones they had in stock. So you just buy it as a kit. This is already in it. And you just have to stitch the little girl and the dog on there and you'll have a little bag. And no finishing needed. It is quite expensive, these kits, especially for the amount of stitching that needs doing. I don't mind an expensive kit if it means that I'm going to be stitching on it for a long time. But these are not very big pieces stitching wise, but you obviously pay for the fact that there's already a finished piece in there. That's me again. You can sometimes see me in the window or in mirrors. It was quite a challenge to do the filming, and I thought I would feel very weird doing the filming, but I didn't really. I just enjoyed it because I was enjoying looking at all these beautiful pieces. And if they'd be happy, I would love to go back in about a year or so, and film again, because I'm pretty sure they have a lot more pieces that I could show. And they don't have their own Flosstube. So they had quite a few pieces like this, which again is from a French design, and then they put it on top of a box. So you'd have a stitchy box. I like that. And I like these little scissors as those little trinkets on top. This is more embroidery. Not more, it is embroidery. And I quite like the frame of this last one. And they had quite a few of those frames. I didn't buy anything. Again, a good reason to go back because I really like those frames. A cute little tag. Now this little bag, I loved it. And if this strip would have been Ada, I would have bought it so I could stitch on the Ada strip. But it was linen, and as you know, I don't stitch on linen. But this little bag I thought was perfect. So springy, and the colors are nice. And the back is very bright, so yeah, I would have loved to have found one of these, but then with an Ada strip. This is from a series, I think these series are also from Country Cottage Needlework. Their annual monthly piece. Now this is a little piece. I've no idea who designed it. But this one in the front is by the Lynn d'Isabelle, and this is the one I said earlier that always looks like it's for children. But I love the way she shades her pieces. So yeah, this is very cute. Be lovely for a little children's room or something like that. This is yet another series of Country Cottage needlework, and they had all of them lying there so that you could basically swap it out on that piece of wood. And this is very inexpensive finishing, really, and it is very cute. I'm just thinking I didn't see any smaller pillows because I like to make those very small pillows. I didn't see many of those. I didn't see any Gaerenhuys, I think. But yeah, lots of wooden finish, like wooden frame or easy framing. Then they had a few more pieces down here by Jardin Privé. So this first one I thought was a unique finish on just a piece of felt. So a very easy way to finish something. And it does look quite straight. So I quite like that. These pieces by Jardin Privé are not my favorite. I don't think I would stitch. They have a series of this. This is I Love My Dog. I think there's one I Love My Cat. So there's quite a few of those. I do love dogs though. She also had, I think it's Jeanette Douglas who makes those critters, like the stand-up ones, and there were 2 dogs of that as well, and those were so cute. Animal crackers, that's the word I was looking for. Now this was a lovely little pin drum. And I have decided I should make a few pin drums because I have not yet made a pin drum ever before. And I also liked the little strawberry that was hanging from it. So yeah, I will hopefully make a few pin drums in the future because it looks like an easy finish and it also stands on its own rather than needing to hang on the wall. And then there is another one that I wanted to show you because there was a lady on that side of the shop. I'm trying to show it to you like this. And that is not perfect, but you can get the idea. It's one of the primitive style of stitching. But I really like the pin drum. So I will try and make some of those. So we are moving towards a finish of this video and I hope you've enjoyed my shop tour. I hope you enjoyed this shop. If you are ever in Gent, do visit. They also have a website. You can order from the website. Like I said, they are extremely helpful and they'll be most happy to help you. And let's finish on this beautiful piece by, I think, Pore Batakori or something like that. With teacups and flowers, which are my favorite things, as you all know. So yeah, that is a good finish of this video. I hope to see you again in about 2 weeks for a regular Flosstube where I just show you my progress. And until then, I hope you all do a lot of stitching. Thank you very much for watching.